You're not.
All you had to
over
say
there.
was Betsy said.
Okay, we're up and running?
Yep.
Okay, we're gonna go ahead and call the meeting to order. It is Tuesday, June 10th, 2025. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Minutes and reports received and filed.
We have the sheriff's May 2025.
Okay. Commissioner committee liaison reports, upcoming meetings.
So, we've got no, nothing on the agenda for the planning meeting, so we will not have it tonight. W. Culver Farm Field Day tomorrow, HBA board meeting tomorrow, HBA regular meeting and barbecue tomorrow night at Memorial Park. Thursday, got a deal with the Aging Best to talk about the senior tax freeze. Solid Waste Management District Board meeting, Chiefs meeting Thursday night, and then Monday got the Board of Realtors Political and Economic Responsibility Committee meeting. I think that's it. Sure, I'm forgetting something.
You're forgetting Father's Day on Sunday.
That's a Sunday.
That's right. Let's see, today, the Missouri State Tax Commission has a meeting, and I thought it might be interesting, but apparently it's only going to cover aircraft. Tomorrow, Salute 25. Thursday, West Central County Commissioners Association down in Camden County. That's it.
Okay. Tomorrow, I have Harry S. Truman Foundation Zoom. Thursday, I will not be able to make Camden County. We have Homeless Task Force, and then in the Capitol Rotunda, there's the 250th birthday of the United States Army, and we're having a wreath laying ceremony. And Friday is Chamber Governmental Transportation Meeting. And then Friday and Saturday is the 100th anniversary of the Jefferson City Post Lions Club, so I'm sure you're going to the dinner Saturday night. Okay, that's all I have. Any commission comments? Bids and contracts. Approval and signing of contract with United Mechanical Services.
This is for the supplemental furnace at the Pringer Family Center. Toby received notice that they did get that grant awarded. This is on a cooperative contract with United Mechanical Services, and the total is $26,640. And I do have a contract ready for signature if you guys want to move forward.
I'm good with that. I want to say again too that this is money being spent that has to be spent until we get the new place, and then it actually should add a little value to the building itself. So it's not just stuff we're throwing at it, wasting. All right, I'll make a motion to approve and sign the contract with United Mechanical Services for the Pringer Youth Center.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Approval and signing for the purchase of new copier from Marco Technologies, St. Brian.
So I'm actually here on behalf of the Pringer Center with Toby. They have a copier that's aged out and that is falling into needing to be replaced. So Toby got a grant awarded for the purchase of this copier. The purchase price is $9,189.32 from Marco Technologies, and it is off of state contract. There is no maintenance charge, so but there is a per charge fee of .0065 black and white for 60 months.
Does it come with toners?
It does, the maintenance price does, yeah.
Hey, I read your emails, I'm just kind of making fun of that.
I would just ask for approval of the purchase of the copier.
I'll make a motion to approve the purchase of the new copier from Marco Technologies for juvenile with grant money,
Yes,
$9,189.32.
yes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Everybody else read their emails too, so they get the joke about the toners, right?
Toner pirates.
Matt's
Right.
going, where their pictures, yeah, don't buy toners from outside of here.
Mexico.
That we don't have already. Yeah, Mexico, is that what you're getting your?
Yeah,
Matt?
yeah.
You might keep it, put a little more restrictions on his web access there.
Okay. Discussion of 2025-20 rooftop stairs.
We bid out 2 rooftop staircases for the, on top of the sheriff's department, and we had 2 vendors that submitted responses. The project was budgeted for $65,000, and both the bids came in over that amount. But Greg would still like to move forward with the project. He would like to move forward with the Industrial Enterprises. Their total was $82,210, but then there was some additional alternates on there that we could also add.
I'm just looking at doing the stairs right now. We'll hold off on the 51,000 or 5,100 for the lift.
I think it's dangerous.
I think.
This should have been built into it when the jail was
Yes,
built.
I
But
agree.
It's a safety factor.
I agree. And you can see how much price, when I took your estimates before budget last year, the budget numbers I got were around 62 to 64. So I put 65 in the budget. Well, that's how much material and labor's gone up since last year. Questions?
Do they have any kind of an estimated start date? I know it didn't have anything on there, but if, we'd like to have some kind of idea, I would think.
They didn't specify that on the bid.
So,
I'm sure once they get the contract, I'm sure they'd be started right away.
I think within 90 days of the notice to proceed or contract would be enough if we approve it.
I do have a contract, or a quote that they gave us, and Jill approved it.
I mean, I don't know where y'all wanna go with it. I'm fine with moving this, cause it's not gonna get any cheaper.
Right,
I
okay.
think, I agree with you, Greg, to get it going. But, I don't wanna just leave it open to whenever, so, if we call them first and say, when do you expect to proceed, or,
We could push the issue and see if we can get a completion date and a start date. I mean, you said you had a contract over there, so I'm sure we could.
I'd call them and see if they have a better
so I
start
don't know
date.
if you wanna call them and then we can do this next week, or we do this and
Why don't we do
Pending.
it pending?
that they can do it within, I think 90 days is reasonable, unless you wanna say 120.
90 sounds, 90 working
But,
days.
and if they need more, then we can come back and review it, revise it.
And the way the weather's been too, so I don't think I'd wanna fly a crane with steel and the lightning and high winds either, so we'll just have to work around it. But like you said, I'd like to get going.
So I'll make a motion to award the rooftop stairway for the sheriff's department to Industrial Enterprises, provided that they can start within 90 days of the contract. That sound good?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay. Approval and signing a quote with Salisbury Industries.
Morning.
Morning.
So these are the bedroom lockers for the station in Brazito. It's 2 sets of 3 lockers, 18 inches Custom made for us. Total price is $2,190 plus $500 in shipping. This is actually substantially less than what we paid for the lockers that we put in at Adams Street, and they look like they're a much better fit for our needs. So it allows our folks to keep their uniforms and bedding and other things at work, so they don't have to drag them back and forth. So I sent you an updated project balance sheet, and we still remain under budget for this project. So just ask for your approval.
Okay. Make a motion to approve and sign the quote with Salisbury Industries for the lockers for $2,690.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I probably should ask this before, who installs them?
They come free.
They just sit?
Yeah, they're just
Okay.
sit on the floor.
Okay.
Second, do it otherwise.
Yeah.
Have to buy a drill.
Approval and signing of inmate medical services contract.
What about Johnson Plastics?
Huh? Oh, approval of quote with Johnson Plastics. What is Johnson?
I only get one thing today, it's fine. So this is one of those things that just comes up over the course of the year. It was not included in our capital budget request, but it's brought to me a request to buy a desktop laser engraver so that we can engrave our equipment and make some of the accountability name tags that we use on a daily basis. So as you recall, one of our projects this year was some replacement radios and to replace all of the batteries for our two-way radio, our portable radios. So that's about 50 batteries. And in the past, Motorola has engraved those for free. However, they've decided that they're no longer going to provide that service out of the goodness of their heart. So the quote was about $800 to engrave all of those batteries with our name and phone number and all that sort of stuff. So we took a hard look at this, and we feel that a one-time purchase of an engraver that allows us to do that in-house will save us money over the course of a lifetime. So looking to buy a desktop laser engraver. Total cost is $2,912.67, and that comes with some of the supplies. We did have some savings on some other budget or some other items in our capital budget this year that would just reallocate to this device. So happy to answer any questions.
I think a lot of the county departments and maybe officials at different times are always going out and buying name tags. Maybe you could become the name tag central.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how technical this is, but a few people on my staff have reassured me that they will figure out how to use it. So I think that is probably a valid point, and we just have to buy the supplies and materials to accomplish that. So. Okay. Thank you.
You want Harry to do one?
Okay, that's fine.
I might put the name tag central clause in here too.
That's fine. That's
That all
fine.
right? I'll make a motion to go ahead with the approval of the quote with Johnson Plastics to purchase the desktop laser engraver for a price of $2,912.67.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. See, do I want to do approval and sign of inmate medical services contract now, or do I just do like Senate Bill 19 and just we'll move on? I won't do that. Approval and signing of inmate medical services contract.
We did a request for qualifications for the inmate service, medical services for the sheriff's department. After they evaluated each packet, the sheriff's department would like to move forward with comprehensive correctional care. Their annual total is $385,246. Their monthly total would be $32,103.83. And Captain Harlan's here to answer any questions.
How do these numbers compare with our history? Are we in the ballpark?
Actually, it's lower than the last contract that we had with Turnkey Medical.
That's a good thing.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's about the only question I had too, so.
Okay, good.
Yes, you should share with Harry too. Everybody's on this side of the table today.
I'll make a motion to approve and sign the inmate medical services contract with Comprehensive Correctional Care for the quoted annual price of $285,246.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, new business, accounts payable review.
I'd ask for approval of accounts payable pending your review.
I'll make a motion to approve accounts payable pending review.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Fiscal year 2024 LLEBG grant award.
We were awarded the local law enforcement block grant. It was for $9,941.45. It's for 1 portable radio and 10 remote speakers with mics. So this is just the approval of the application, or approval of the award.
Good. Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the FY 2024 LLEBG grant award for the radio and speakers.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Signature and initials.
Just saying, right?
Yes,
You're gonna be here a little while.
Aye. Good. You don't have to initial page. Okay, bucket agency use of facility.
Major Bollinger's out of the office, so I told him I would talk to you. Bucket Agency is a promotional agency out of Columbia, and they are contracted by MoDOT to produce videos of public service announcements for MoDOT. They've worked with the Cole County Sheriff's Office before and used their facilities as sets when they're filming these videos. Anyway, they have asked again if they could use some of our facilities, whether it's in the training room or the jail or whatever. And so I talked with the Major Bollinger. We thought we'd just bring this to the attention of the county commission, since you control facilities, and see if you had any objections. Again, this is for MoDOT.
We touched on this last week, I think, not in here, but in our offices. And you mentioned to me, I think, the waiver that they signed.
Yes, they sign a waiver that completely absolves us of any liability for, if somebody is injured or whatever, and also too, for them to cover any damages if that occurs. But in the past, there's no history of there ever being any kind of a problem, so. Which is not to say it couldn't happen.
Yeah, Major Bollinger called and we chatted about it too, so I was fine with it. We've done it before. We've not had any issues with it for a good reason, so.
Okay, so if you don't have any objections, I'll let him know that you're okay with that?
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Discussion of the vacant equipment operator position in Public Works.
So, back in January, when we were discussing, pay raises and, pay adjustments on our, all of our staff, but primarily our road and bridge maintenance side. As part of that conversation, the commission asked that we, keep a currently vacant position on the road and bridge maintenance side, keep it vacant for the time being, and then come back to you if we'd like to talk about hiring that person back. So we're at that point, and Aaron Locke can attest to what I'm going to tell you as far as, you know, where we're at on our staffing. So, we had been down 2 people on the road and bridge maintenance side. We've recently hired one of those positions back, and the reason why we were down 2 is we had one of our employees on that side, on the maintenance side, be promoted to the engineering side. So not overall down 2, but in that side of the office, we were down 2 spots. So we did hire that person back, but we still have the one vacant position. And I do have some org charts, and these are not up to date as far as people and positions, but the actual spots on the org chart are up to date. I did not send that the other day when I sent the other stuff, but so the highlighted spot is a mower operator position, and that position is currently vacant. We do not have somebody in that mower. We have 3 boom mowers and 1 15-foot batwing brush hog that we operate pretty much all year round. It does slow down a little bit during the winter, but they can pretty much go all year round. So that position is currently down. And additionally, we don't, obviously right now, don't have a snow route down because we're not plowing snow, but when we come to that time of the year, this position does have a snow route, and we do not have a person in that snow route. So those are the two main issues. And with snow, what we found is that the best time to hire somebody, if you know they're gonna be in the snow route, is at least this time of year, maybe even sooner, because there can be a learning curve and a training component that we need to get people up to speed to be able to be out on their own during the winter. Sometimes that can't happen, even somebody that is experienced. We do have people that will ride with them, and that typically happens every season as people change and positions change or whatever. So just looking at the snow routes, we have, and this was not the case up until maybe 5 years ago or so, we have, on the engineering side, we have 2 positions in engineering that actually do have a snow route, and that was not always the case. So we've had to compensate for some of the maybe lack of personnel and positions on the one side, take some people on the engineering side to run snow routes. In fact, last year, we had the last snow we had everybody out except one person in the office answering phones, and that included me. So when we're down people and we have people that may be out sick or whatever, we have to shuffle around to make sure we're covered on all snow routes. This position is not specifically just in a mower during the summer. There's times that we have to pull them to put them on another crew. For example, the striping crew, there's 2 people full-time and 1 seasonal. But when they're out striping roads, we have to bring in others to be part of the striping train. There's a forward truck, I think, and then a kind of a chase truck, and then a truck that stays behind to monitor when it's dry enough to let traffic on. So we got to shift people around, and so, you know, just because somebody might be dedicated to a certain position, and that goes for graders, that goes for everything, not just mowers. So we do shift around as needed during the winter. There's winter work that can be done when maybe they can't mow or grade roads or whatever, cutting brush and other odds and ends. So there's always work to do. Just some additional information. So 5 years ago, we're down 2 full-time equivalent positions going back 5 years. So when Brenda Peters retired, she was in the office. We did not hire a replacement for her. And then when Kevin Bishop was promoted over to the park side to be the park supervisor, we did not replace that position on the road and bridge side. Generally speaking, as more subdivisions are developed and we're upgrading more gravel roads, our maintenance responsibility increases. It does take more of an effort to maintain a paved road than it does a gravel. Sometimes as traffic increases on a gravel, that number can get a little closer, but in general, it does take more effort to maintain a paved road. Just for example, this year right now, we're overlaying several roads in the kind of the Henley area, the Teals, and we're having to replace pipes on roads that were upgraded 20-ish years ago. And so that effort is substantial, having to replace pipes. And so, you know, we definitely need the personnel there to be able to do the work that we need to do. And Additionally, one last thing is we do not have a dedicated bridge maintenance crew, and that's really kind of by committee when we can fit the work in. And Tanner Bridge Road is a classic example. Now that's, you know, that bridge has been on the verge for several years now. Maybe not the best example, but a bridge like that, we do have to maintain these regularly. What we do is bridge deck sealing and that kind of thing, and sometimes that can get pushed aside because of all the other work that we gotta do. We would like to actually hire 2 more people to establish a somewhat full-time bridge maintenance crew that would be a component of the special projects crew. If you look here on our concrete and special projects on the org chart, we just have 2 people. Typically, when they're working, we'll move some other people around if it's a sizable enough project to be doing, but they're dedicated on that crew. So, what I'm here today is to ask that the county commission allow us to go ahead and advertise for this vacant position, that we've had vacant for quite a while. Not since the beginning of the year, it was vacant long before that, so. And it's, as we all know, it's been increasingly difficult to hire this type of position. We kind of lucked into the last one we hired here recently, but it's been challenging to hire. So we definitely need to get this position advertised and see if we can't find somebody and get them in place to be able to be plowing snow during the winter. So, and again, I apologize, I did not update names on the org chart. It dawned on me this morning that this might be good to look at as we're talking. So I did the org chart, the positions haven't changed, just some names are in different spots now. But like I said, that mower position, the name that's on there, they had to move to the asphalt crew to make up for a deficiency there from somebody else that moved, so. Any questions about anything?
So telling us we're still gonna have one open position.
We will not, we will be full
We'll
with
be
that,
full,
yeah.
okay.
And that position's budgeted.
Okay.
We didn't hold it out of the budget, it was in the budget, so.
Our sales tax numbers aren't up right now.
That's not funded by sales tax, though. That's property tax and state gas
I
tax.
understand, but in a whole, it does go to Public Works, budget.
Most of what the
If
road
we
and
have to
bridge,
start stealing from Peter to pay Paul or something, then it will affect things. We made some significant salary adjustments. I didn't get to talk to you, Eric, I saw your email, but I meant to call you beforehand to kind of go over this a little bit. To run you over the grill.
it's fine.
So, I'm just a little hesitant to do it.
Again, we've been, like I said, 5 years ago, we're down 2 people since then. I've been here since 2005, and we've gone through very lean years as far as sales tax revenues and property tax. Money's coming in, and gradually, the inflation rates of that. I know property tax, we did look at that. That number is up from last year. I think it's just a matter of more people have paid in towards the end of this year, but we are expecting that number to be at or maybe a little higher than what we budgeted. And again, this position is 100% out of the road and bridge side. Now, the road and bridge side does use some sales tax monies to do preparation on our asphalt roads for overlays, so there is some money that goes into that, but it's not substantial. Most of the funding on Aaron's side is all through the property tax and cart and everything else, so.
So this position is in your budget?
It is, yes.
Yeah, I was trying to remember the exact conversation. I can't find my notes necessarily from budget when we were going through that and making some adjustments and stuff. And I mean, the crews that we have do a fantastic job. So I know you said there's a snow plow route that, may not get hit as quick, but still gonna be in better shape than what state roads are in, so. I mean,
Yeah.
Last year, they could make it out to Route W. They might as well turn back around and go take the county road back home and stay at home, because W was bad. But
It's also something we don't wanna get blasted for on Facebook, that, like MoDOT was getting, on social media these days.
you know how many people was last minute and they survived?
They do.
Just because they couldn't get somewhere for one day, they couldn't go get their beer or cigarettes. I mean, they still got out, believe me, they just were complaining about it because it took them longer, they might have got stuck once or twice.
We always have somebody on a route, and if somebody's out sick or, maybe out of town or whatever the reason is, or we have a vacant position, we'll shuffle people around to make it happen. I
They
think,
just go on her road head first then, if that
well,
happens.
she's on a gravel road,
Not
so.
necessarily.
I don't know.
She don't have to
I know.
go, she don't have to go anywhere
She don't
next
blast
year.
you on Facebook. Yeah, it's kinda like your kid, their last ones get the stuff.
Snow, that's very seasonal and you just don't know how many times a year you're gonna deal with it, but it's not, in the big scheme of things, it's not the overwhelming majority of what we do. The most important thing we do is taking care of our pavements primarily, or gravel roads and everything else, and that's where this position is most needed. Mowing, you think, that could be something that could be, maybe we just fill in and do whatever. It's a very specific expertise, and it does take a little time to do that well. And mowing, just an example, if a road's not mowed, the primary impact that has is sight distance, at intersections, going around curves, things like that. So it is something that we can't just neglect, we have to do. Maybe in a year, 2 to 3 times, depending on the road. That's how much time it takes to do these, do that.
Yeah, we do get calls about that, so people do expect it.
And the mowing is not only the grass part, it's the, once they normally get done with grass in, October, November, then they stay in there more December, January, February, trimming trees and getting the brush back as far as they can with the mowers and stuff. It's something they kinda do through the winter time then.
You talked about adding a couple more for bridge maintenance crews, so we're looking at adding 3 more people here. So,
We won't do that unless the budget can support it. I was kind of thinking with the increase in the gas tax a couple of years ago, that money could maybe support that as time goes on, but what we found is that it's just compensating for the increase in inflation, and we're really not seeing a whole lot of extra money coming in for that. Unfortunately, it's just making up for some of the inflation we've seen.
we got 2 more bumps.
Like one-
I think we have one more bump starting
Right.
July 1.
We're at 10 cents right now then,
I think so, yeah.
and it hasn't made that much difference.
I mean, it definitely hasn't hurt, but the inflation is hurting us.
Does the county get 15% of that?
Pardon?
Does the county, my understanding is the state, that increase, the state gets 60% of the increase. Cities get 15 and counties get 15, I think. If it's the same ratio as the other fuel tax.
I'm not sure on that, Harry. I know it's the County Aid Road Trust is what it is, and it's a formula that they put in, and we get money based on road mileage, assessed property values.
Right,
that
I
kind
mean,
of thing.
the entire, all the counties in the state, I think, get 15% of it. That doesn't mean Cole
So they take
does.
their 10 cents per gallon, put it in this.
I think so.
And then the counties get 15% is distributed by the CART funding.
We were estimating about 150,000 extra per year and increasing that much each year. So a total of 750, and we're not seeing that exact number
Okay.
That's all for 5 years.
for 5 years. And then once it gets that, it stays at that level.
It stays at 12.5 cents after the,
And that was estimated by MoDOT. We took some numbers that they gave us
Right.
back years ago when that first started, that first budget year that we looked at.
Well, you can do a refund for that too, so there's more people doing that than they expected.
I think the refunds are small. Only nerdy accountants like me, and I'm the only one in my family that does it, and the other family members laugh at me for that.
Well, we go through a lot of fields, so we do it. It is a significant amount, so. Yeah.
It's not just accountants, Harry. Engineers do it too.
Okay. Engineers? Yeah,
Maybe
well, you know,
one
they're
in this
almost
room.
as bad.
Type of business people, kind of saving time every way we can.
Right.
So basically, we need this position, plain and simple. And, the money's there in the budget. You know, I was a little apprehensive about going along with that suggestion back at the time, but knew that that was something the county, our commission was wanting us to look at, and we did, and we kind of let time go on, and now that we're realizing in full construction or maintenance mode right now, we're in full mode right now, we definitely need this, we need this position.
I'm gonna make a motion so we can move on this one way or another to fund or to add and fill this vacant position in Public Works.
I will second. Discussion?
Move on.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you.
My road's not getting pushed, or snow pushes.
Okay,
Sorry, Debbie.
discussion
Find out.
of Senate Bill 3.
I'm the one that asked that this be put on the agenda for today, and really there's not much to say except Senate Bill 3, which was passed by the Senate last week, may become law. And if it does, or if it does not, at this point, we say it does not affect Cole County senior freeze. Am I right, Mr. Collector?
That is correct.
Okay. There's lots of confusion out there because many counties in Missouri are possibly going to enact a freeze on all resident owners, eligible resident owners, even those that are under age 62.
That's what the Senate bill is.
The Senate bill, in part, I mean, the Senate bill is Royals, it's Chiefs, it's St. Louis Tornado, it is amateur sporting events, and it is county taxes or taxes collected by real estate, personal property tax collections by counties, which then the counties distribute. Yeah, this does not touch personal property, you're right. This is real estate, and it's only on residents that it applies.
Primary residence.
Primary residence, yes. So, I guess it's just to say that those seniors who were planning to come in Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday between 10 and 3, and even those who were planning to come in earlier and later, which we have a few of those, they can still keep coming, and they should. This does not impact their desire to fill out the paperwork and freeze for them. There's no vote to be taken here, there's no motion to be made,
Just clarification.
but it's just,
Yeah. So yes,
to the extent that bill can be clarified, because it has it's a Christmas tree with lots of ornaments on it.
it's very bizarre. It's very flawed. Yes, okay. Enough discussion on that. Unfinished business. I do want to recognize Congressman Anders' office. Sarah Williams is here, and we appreciate you attending our meetings when you can. Do you want to do a couple minutes?
I can, if you would like. I'll make it short and sweet. As many of y'all know, the House passed the Big Beautiful Bill. It strengthens the border security and extends the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. It also raises the estate tax, or also known as the death tax exemption rate, to $15 million per person. It also increased the business income deduction to 23%. The House anticipates voting this week on codifying the DOGE cuts through H.R. 4. Last night on June 9th, Congressman Onder reached out to White House staff and They approved in part, some of the state's disaster requests, related to May 16th, St. Louis tornado request for aid, so that's a good, wonderful win for, the third congressional district, and that is all I have. If anybody has any questions or requests.
Reduce the deficit, that's my request.
No?
I don't know if that did so much for that at all, so. All right, I'm done. Just want to ask.
No, I
Well,
appreciate
Sorry to hear that one.
We appreciate you attending our meetings.
Yeah, thank you.
We see you at a lot of ribbon cutting, you and Seth, and all these other things, so I think that's wonderful. Okay, if we have nothing else to come
That's-
before,
I had a question on Salute to America this year. The parade is on the 4th of July. At, it's in the afternoon. Usually it's the evening before. I was at another meeting and you're on that committee, so I was just gonna verify.
I am, but you know, I think you're right. The salute party is always captive of the calendar. A year ago, I think since it was in the middle of the week, we had a one-day event. This year, it'll be tied more to a weekend, and I'm not sure of all the changes that have been anticipated, but it's a multi-day event this year.
Yeah, back to the multi-day and then with the 4th, there is a website for it, so I did go to verify it and to
Okay.
check, and so I just kinda wanted to bring that up too, to let everybody else know, cause I hadn't been paying attention or hadn't heard, and the parade will be on the 4th, so it's a little different this year. So it's a fun time.
And the 4th is
Harry's in
on-
charge of the weather.
Well,
So-
you know, actually, I take a little bit of a backseat every other year. The city and county sort of rotate the chairmanship, and I believe it's the city's year. So,
Okay, so they're to blame if it's bad weather.
yeah, I think
Right.
Mayor Fitzwater's.
so Mayor Fitzwater gets the chairmanship compensation for this year.
And the 4th is on Friday.
Right.
Perfect. That's, I just kinda wanted to bring that up and let everybody know.
Okay,
If I may.
yes, ma'am.
I am working on getting that list for the 250 committee for all the, service members that died during active duty. I got a partial list. I don't think it's enough to meet your needs and your request. I'm working on getting that. Do you have a deadline of when you will need that for the monument?
The sooner the better. We haven't really even discussed, the statue is being made as we speak.
Okay.
And we have the location, but we haven't really, we have our next 250th meeting coming up on June 19th, which is Juneteenth Day, if you'd want to attend, at 6 p.m. at the chamber. So,
Okay. Thank you.
anything else? I would entertain a motion to go into closed session.
Commission will go into closed session to discuss the following we're going into closed session under 610.021, real estate under section 610.021 subsection 12, and computer systems under section 610.021 subsection 22.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Sam,
Yes.
Harry,
Yes.
Jeff.
Yes.
It's at 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock on the 4th.